Naked Shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Welcome to Iggy Garcia Live, episode 125. Today is, January 29th, 2021. Man, we are just cruising along, and here and this year's just about gone a little bit crazy with everything that's going on in the world. But so I want to welcome you to the show. Hopefully you can stay with me for a little bit. Hi everybody. Hi Sherry. How are you? Hello. Hopefully you guys could share with me today. I'm going to try to bring people onto camera today, and if you're up for it, you can share your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions about what you want to do. So what I want to do today is actually I want to light a candle, and I want to give thanks to our ancestors, those who have come before us and trailblazed the path before us. So I want to give thanks to our ancestors, give thanks to Grandma, Grandpa, Mom, and Dad, if you know them, great-grandma, great-grandpa, your ancestors, those who come. A lot has happened, and a lot has changed, so giving thanks. We light this candle in recognition of those who came before us, who prepared the space so we can do and become the things that we're going to become in this present moment. All right, very good. We'll let that light. Danny, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Rosario, good to see you. I want to welcome everybody. So we're going to light a little sage here. Just kind of move some of the energy around a little bit. Just kind of cleansing, purification. Feeling good. Let that burn throughout the show. Just let that go. All right. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you can stick around for a little bit. Come and go. This is going to be recorded, so you can check back in later if you have other things you have to do, which is understandably. So I wanted to show you something I made. I think I showed you this before. This is actually a mushroom that grows on the side of trees, and I got it because it fell off. So I took it, and then I painted it. I painted it into the colors of the Inca flag colors, and then the Peruvian colors, and this is I call it my heart. My heart, see? And then there's a couple of little pieces too, and I've just been messing around with them a little bit. Just trying to give them a new purpose, but other than that. So guys, I hope that you have got a great start to the year. I hope that you are moving in the direction that you feel that you're called to do. 2021 is here. We're in it. There's not a whole lot we can do. We just move along. No matter what happens, the next day always comes. And we have to be prepared and move through those days, because if we don't move, it's going to move us. Okay? So there's been a lot of things. We have a new president. We have a new administration. We have new news, old news, bad news, all kinds of news, and that's kind of how it goes. But anyhow, nothing really changes in our lives, really. I mean, except for what we can control. And sometimes it's difficult to control what we want to control. But we try to do our best to move in the energies that are presented to us and try to navigate with us. And, I can't always say it's going to be an easy task. It's not going to be an easy journey, but journey nonetheless. And the destinations along the way, we get to experience new things, experience new people. This is a new time for expansion, creating new beliefs. And this is probably something you've heard before. We make our goals and we set our intentions to do. Some of us already have flopped on our intentions and messed up our resolutions, New Year resolutions. But I just want to tell you, don't stress yourself out. Don't stress yourself out so much that you have to do something. Do it little by little, step by steps, baby steps, just go at it, conquer a little bit. If it's too much, kick back. We're so conditioned sometimes that we have to accomplish something, that we have to win, that we have to compete. And that's not always true. But there's one thing that I know that right now in 2021 that it's very, very crucial for me personally is the fact of connecting your body and connecting your spirit, which is all in there together. There's no separation. The illusion is that we're looking outside of our body to find the pieces that are lost. They're actually all inside. We're all spirit, we're all body, we're all that mixed in there. Like a nice little cake, you know? We're all in there. And so sometimes we do this soul searching. We try to go outside of ourselves to find answers because we think that we don't have them. A lot of times we may not have answers that we're looking for, but a lot of times what we do is we run into other people who may have some kind of nugget for us to remind us of who we are. For those of you who believe in, like say, reincarnation, or that you can come back to past lives and stuff, you understand that we are on these journeys and we have to come back to complete tasks that we didn't complete in the past lives, or we're here to learn some things in this new life. But the cool thing about it is we never really truly die. We just keep expanding, keep growing, keep coming back. In the Native Americans, they believe that all my relations, which is everybody, that's you, me, everybody who's on here listening, that we're all connected, that we're all one, that we are actually the same being, that we are actually having this amazing experience. The Creator has created this experience, and we're all these tiny little splinters of creation experiencing this world, experiencing this life. Now, you may buy into that, you may not buy into that, because you may not like some of the things that you see, some of the things that aren't comfortable, some of the things that are dark, some of the things that are perceived as evil, or are evil, or are very disgusting and gross. But on the same token, you know, as the sun rises and the moon sets, and as the sun sets, the moon rises, you know, and the stars come out. The stars are always there. We just see them because it gets dark. So we have to be in this constant dance. We're in this constant rhythm, constantly moving and trying to experience. Right now, a lot of us have been thrown out of rhythm. A lot of us have been thrown out of this comfort zone of sorts, because now we have to deal with so many different things. We have to deal with financial problems, financial struggles, reestablishing who we are, because of what's happened in society with COVID and with all, you know, changing of administrations and stuff, and the belief system that we carry along with that. And, you know, who knew that this was going to happen in 2019, 2017? There are doctors, and there are, people who study this stuff, and they know that this is a potential every year, all the time, for this to happen. So it's nothing new. Because with my friend Kate, we have a conversation sometimes about this, specifically this topic, because we both feel that Mother Nature actually plays a big part on everything that you see. We believe that Mother Nature just does what she has to do. You can go and blame whoever you want. You can blame Chinese, you can blame Trump, you can blame Biden, you can blame Como. I don't care who you blame. But in the end, there's no way a human can control or even maximize what happens, because Mother Earth is in charge. Mother Earth takes over. She also has a biosystem that she has to clean and cleanse herself. She has to make sure that she's also in balance, in harmony, in rhythm. There are so many people that just oversee that. They ignore that. They ignore that, that nature doesn't do it. Nature does this every day. Nature does this every year. If you get the flu, you get sick, that's Mother Nature, man. That's Mother Nature. Mother Nature is a living, symbiotic, system, whatever you want to call her. She's a living thing. She's a sentient being. She is this thing that is real. She is this thing that is just, how do you say it? This is like you and me. To believe that she is separate, to believe that she is just something that we use and we manipulate, Right now, we're coming into these new ideologies and these new ideas that we've been throwing around. Society's been throwing around for a long time. And finally, we're getting to some point. Now, the sun is free energy, and every day it hits us, and every day it's there for our taking and for our use. And if we walk outside, we use it, we feel it, and it feels good, it warms us up. Today was like 28 degrees, but I was sitting outside on my deck, enjoying the sun. I was there for probably a good hour and a half, maybe, just sitting there going, my dog's out there going, just chilling too. We're feeling the rays of the sun hitting our body. And they're actually closer to the Earth during the winter because of the way the angle of the Earth is in the way that everything shifts. So you can fact check me on that one, because that's the new thing these days. Fact checking. Fact check. But anyhow, so I enjoyed the sun today. I enjoyed it because it's part of humans strive to see the light, and the light is very important to us. The light is very crucial to us, because in the darkness, there's a lot of things that can kind of go wrong, that we can kind of get lost in the darkness a little bit. But the darkness also brings, refuge from the heat, from the sun and stuff. But during the winter, it gets really cold. So anyhow, I hope that 2021 is turning out to be what you want it to be, how it looks for you. I don't know what it means for everybody and what that goal is. But right now, we're in this weird phase of trust, this weird phase of believing, this weird phase of understanding, in this weird phase of accepting what we're seeing and trying to navigate through all this energy that is just really chaotic, that is really crazy, that it's really just kind of frustrating and puts us in a different, frame of mind, and the thing is, it's just 2020 was just a weird year for me. I lost some sight in my eye, in my right eye. I don't have it fully back. I may never have it fully back from the bungee cord accident that I suffered. And it's been one of the things that I had to learn how to readjust, rethink, feel things, and just kind of move into that energy. And I tell you, the very first time I lost my sight, when I couldn't see, it was really frightening. It was really scary. It was really one of those things that you appreciate it when you have it. You don't appreciate it as much as when you have it, when you lose it. And so if I close my eye now, the screen is actually, I can see myself, but it's blurry. I can't really read very well what it says without me getting into focusing my body. But that's part of my journey. That's part of my lesson. What was the lesson of losing my eyesight? I have a lot of theories about that. I have a lot of ideas about that, and then I'm still processing that, because it's not that I'm playing it's unfair game or whatever, but I'm going through this processing emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And now on top of it, when we have to deal with COVID-19 and things like that, it makes it even more, what's the word I'm looking for? It just makes it more, frustrating, because it's like, can we catch a break? Can we not feel that every day we have to, totally feel that we have to be isolated or locked down? Now they want us to wear 2 masks, not just one. And, I think, everybody has their opinions about things, about how we are living and how we are adapting in this society right now. And the only thing I want to say to you guys is just feel what's in your heart, feel and move into that energy that's right for you. I'm not saying that you're to be careless. I'm not saying to be, ignore or blow things off. Know that, we have to do some protocol stuff just because it's better to be safe than sorry, right? But where's the line? Where's the limit? Where do we stop? We've lived with the flu. We've lived with viruses and all kinds of different things for many, many thousands since man has walked this earth. We've lived with them. So we've had to adjust. We've had to learn. We've had to adapt physically in our body and spiritually, emotionally. We've had to see loss. We had to see the people we love, go away, and they go and die. It's part of what it is. And then I thought about when my parents, they all died. They both died prior to this virus happening. And I was wondering, what would my mom and dad think? Or what would they, it would just be, where would they be during this time? I know how my mom would be. She would be really nervous, really frustrated, and pretty scared, because that's just kind of her personality. My dad, it's hard to say what he would say. He would probably be kind of 50-50. I've had to think about it. But here we are today now. And, we can't stop living. We can't stop being who we are. Because it's so important for us to be and to live and to survive and to move as we navigate this time that we're in. We can't give up. We cannot just stop living because there's so much around us that is happening. And, it just seems like sometimes we feel like we're trapped. We feel like we can't move. And we can't get into this space and this rhythm that we want to get in. But, I implore you guys to actually figure out ways to make your life more interesting, more fun. Because it could be very hard right now during this time where we don't even know if any chance we walk out the door, something might happen to us. But that can be any day. We could get hit by a car, or we could fall and hurt our head. So it's not like it's something that, but it's real. It's really real right now. Because for a long time we would walk and just live life, and that's what it was. We didn't really think about things. We didn't really worry about those things that we had to. And now we're just like in this total bombardment of stuff. So, we're winding down to this month in January. A lot has happened from the last show, which I did on the 12th, to today, the 29th, and tomorrow's Liliana's birthday, my granddaughter's birthday. So happy birthday, Liliana. I'll call you tomorrow. A lot has happened. A lot has gone on, and there's been a lot of things. And, humanity is being tested right now. Humanity is being, forced to adapt. Right now, I think the blame game needs to stop, personally. Blaming who started, where it came from. And, I'm just as guilty as the next person to post things, because I want answers just like everybody else. I'm a human being. I'm a human. And in part of my psychology, part of my mind goes, I want to know. I need to know what happened. Why is it happening? Why can't we, why do we have to feel this way? Why am I feeling frustrated? Because I'll be the first to tell you, I don't have the answers. And the answers aren't coming very, very clearly to me. But all I know is I have to do what they're telling me to do. Do I have to do it? Not necessarily, but a lot of us fall in step and we do it. But the human part of me really wants to know, what is going on, man? What is happening out there? Who did this to us? Who did this to us? And then there's another part of me like, well, it doesn't matter now. We're in it. We got to move through it. It's kind of like, we're in the cyclone, and, it doesn't really matter who did it now. The point is, how do we move and navigate through this pandemic, this thing that has happened, and it is happening to us. Some of us will be here, some of us won't. We will adapt. Our bodies will physically change. We will create antibodies. We will create, the things that we need to survive, because that's what humans do. Human beings survive. Human beings adapt. Human beings find a way to make it. That's just who we are. That's just who we are, and that's how we are programmed. Where we come from, I don't know. That's a whole different story. But today, I just want to challenge you to just make sure that you know that you have to make the choices that are right for you. Those choices will dictate, they will actually navigate you into the directions that you want to go. Some of you have a lot of questions about how you want to move into this new energy, into this new 2021, which is just a set of numbers. We really don't know what year it is. The Gregorian calendar was made, and we have many calendars were made. So today, who knows what the real true date is? This is just a man-made date. Regardless, here we are. So tomorrow, what are you going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow, is there, but what are you going to do today? What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now that will make you and center you and put you in a good place, in a good state of mind? Because it's so easy to get sucked into and get depressed and get frustrated with all these things that are around you. Some of you meditate, some of you don't. Some of you pray, some of you don't. Some of you are just going day by day and moving through the energy and just hoping that things will happen. Some of you are injured. Some of you are hurt. Some of you are suffering. Some of you have, ailments that keep you from doing certain things. So how do you move through this? How do you survive? Well, you have created these little survival mechanisms inside you, inside of you, outside of you. And the best thing is to ask for help. Ask for people to give you a hand. Ask people to say, hey, you know, I need some help. Hey, I need a phone call. Check on your friends. Check on your brothers and sisters. Give them a call and say, hey, what's going on, man? I just want to make sure you're okay. Because it's so easy to be caught in our little worlds and trapped into these little cubicles of sorts that we've created, that have been created for us. And so there's a lot of people who are going through a lot of things right now. And I'll be honest with you. I have gone through some of these moments where I'm like, oh my God, what? It's overwhelming. And I have a few good friends who give me a call and check in on me and see if I'm okay. And I check in with them. If it goes a long period of time, we check in with each other and, you know, make sure we're okay. But if you need somebody to call you, you want someone, you might have to be the person that calls somebody else in order to break out of that cycle where you're in. Because it's so easy to get down on yourself. Oh, nobody knows I'm here, no blah, blah, blah. But if you reach out, then people are more aware that your situation is needing of unconditional love. Because the unconditional love is very important. We are humans. We have to have love. We haven't really hugged. We haven't really communed in the capacities that we have in the past. And now we are kind of trying to figure out, how is our human interaction going to work? How does that look now? How is it going to really be now? Because, like, for example, drum circles. We used to do drum circles all the time. And we have these circles, we drum, we hug, everybody says hi, what's going on? And it's community. So the aspect of community has changed a little bit. And I think we're trying to grasp at what that looks like now. Because we truly don't know how to actually work in these energies. Because a lot of people who do the work, like I do myself, like these group sessional works, there's something about human interaction versus human interaction over the screen. There's a big, huge difference. Even though I'm like, I see you guys, you're there, you know, Anita, you're there, Rachel, you're there, and Danny, you're there, you know, everybody who's in here, you know, I can see you guys popping in, I say hi, and I see your little hearts, and it makes me excited, and it gets me, you know, energized for you guys to share. But there's something about actually seeing all of you in person, and physically seeing your face, your smile, you know, your touch, you know, your interaction. It's different. It's completely different. And so I think right now what humans are having a hard time is, how do we interact with one another? How do we, you know, physically engage with one another? You know, because what we're finding is we're finding a lot of time with ourselves and with significant people in our lives, people who are closest to us, our kids, our families, you know, our spouses, you know, whatever. We're finding that those are the people that we are totally engaged with more than we had been. All right. So how do we not make them the center of the universe, but make them part of our universe? Because without becoming dependent on them, without being there, because the dependency is very quickly and it's very easy to happen. And then we expect certain things. So the best thing I feel is sometimes, you know, we have to walk out the door. We really need to walk out your front door, go down the block and take a walk, man. Or get in your car and go someplace. Go to the river, go to the park, do something that, because if you get caught, it's almost like being in a cell. It's almost like being in, not necessarily a prison, but a cell of sorts where you're just constantly there, and you just constantly see the same walls, and it's constantly affecting your mental state of mind. Okay, so you're in there going, all you see is the same thing over and over and over. And then you start to get into a pattern. And these patterns are addictive. These patterns that you start walking into is creating a habit. You know, it takes 21 days to create a habit, right? That's what they say. Actually, I don't know how many days it takes, but 21 days is the norm. So if you're 21 days in your home constantly, you work, come back, or you work from home. Now, a lot of us work from home. A lot of us are on the computer working from home, and there's a lot of frustration. I see a lot of my clients are having frustrated moments because they're just in their house all day long. And then when 6 o'clock rolls around, 7 o'clock rolls around, they're burnt, they're spent. They don't have any heart, any desire. They just want to go to sleep. They eat, and it's pretty much done. It's like you become a slave to your own personal home, your own place, the place that was your sanctuary. You know, when you went to go to work, then you come home, it's your sanctuary. Now your sanctuary has become your work. And then where's your sanctuary now? Where do you go? Where do you go to relieve and release and let go? Now, some of you are okay with working at home. Some of you guys have always worked at home, and it's natural. But for a lot of people who haven't, are running into these feelings, these emotions, because they can't separate the two. It's like it becomes the one thing and it becomes bogged down. And so my suggestion to you is to get outside, hug a tree, you know, feel the cold grass beneath your feet. You know, tomorrow's going to snow. You know, get outside, make some snowball, make a snowman. You know, throw snowballs with your kids, with your friends, your family, the people you care about. Go sledding. Do something that you haven't done in a while. You can't live in fear that the next day is going to be your last day. Live in fear like today is the day you're going to live versus the day you're not going to live anymore. We get so caught up in all this drama and all this negativity about what's happening around us. Okay, and we've lost friends and family, so we know this is a real thing, but we still can't not let it over and let us consume us to the point where we can't function. And I think that's what's happening right now. People just cannot function, and you know, people are becoming very creative and becoming very, very intact with what they're doing. And for example, I'm going to give you a really strange example. Okay. A lot of you know about the GameStop, about, you know, how the stock market got manipulated. It's an illusionary thing. Now you really know how it kind of works. The hedge fund managers, you know, they look at a stock and they think it's going to be bad, and they just, you know, low, make it go down, and they buy. So my understanding is there's this group of guys, a big group of guys, who ended up deciding to buy all these stocks and make the stocks jump and go crazy, and told everybody to buy the stock. And so they manipulated the market in their own way through social media, through Reddit, through Facebook, and all these different things. And it just proves to you how easy and how volatile it is for the emotion-driven part of our body and our mind to move. One guy made $47 million in a matter of days just because of this stock, the way they caused it to go crazy. There was a little kid on the TV today, and I watched. His mom invested $60 worth of stocks. There were 10 shares, and the shares went up to 3,500. You know, and they sold it. But it's kind of interesting how that works. You know, it's how human interactions, you know, have changed in this digital world that we live in. We're in a digital world. We're almost like an artificial intelligence world. We're like part of this new system, this new energy is flowing. Because half of you guys, I have not seen one of you for months. Okay, months. The only interaction I have with you, most of you, is through this computer, through this phone, through this iPhone that I have, and your computer or your iPhone. This is how I connect with you. This is how I talk to you. This is how you talk to me. This is how I share with you. Unless you call me, or I'm on your show, or you're going live, I'm there. You know, it's strange. It's almost like a telepathic way of talking and communicating. You know, I always said texting is like telepathic work. It's like telepathy. You almost know what the next person's gonna write. Now, it's so the patterns of texting just become a certain way, and I find it very interesting. But you know, the human interaction is just has changed drastically, and of course, human interaction is going to be completely different now because people are going to behave differently. People are going to have different patterns and different feelings and emotions that change. You know, our synapses in our brain starts to do completely different things. It starts to change. It starts to shoot differently. You know, when we used to hug people and touch people, we could feel the energy coursing, and you could feel that energy. Now it's like we see someone smile online. You know, that's the new hug. That's the new, hey, how you doing? Hey guys, how you doing? You know, like, hey, it's good to see you. You can see the emotion, but I don't like the disconnect that has happened with all the lockdown stuff that we have to endure right now. I don't feel like it's very healthy for us. I believe that it may be completely too much. The only reason I say it's too much is because we still are operating grocery stores, gas stations. We're still doing things that is questionable. You know, we go to eat, and then we walk in with our masks, we take our masks off, we sit down, we eat, and they're off. So what is it doesn't compute to this Peruvian, okay, how that works. And then I put my mask on and I walk down to the bathroom. I don't quite understand it. I go to the grocery store and there we are. We're still congregating. We're still communing, and there are so many thoughts on this. What I just talked about. There are so many schools of belief on this that it has caused big gaps between people. Big. I posted something about a Peruvian judge who wanted to take Bill Gates and Soros and all those guys to court. And it was a legitimate post. It wasn't fake. It was real. And somebody called me out on it in private, and they were like, "That's irresponsible of you to post that. The link doesn't work." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "How's that irresponsible? This is from the news source. This is not like I made this up." I'm like, that's not irresponsible. That's my responsibility to post things like that. Because obviously, if someone who's highly educated as a judge in my country, in Peru, thinks that these guys are doing something and they want to sue them, we should kind of think about what's going on. I'm not saying that he is or isn't. I don't have proof. I don't know where to prove it. But there's things going on that we don't know about. Today, somebody sent me about, how China is collecting gene samples or DNA samples from Americans. Okay, I don't know if America could do that for China. I'm not sure. But if you watch the show, it goes into 60 Minutes. It goes into patenting of the genome. How there's a patent on genes. Because the reason they can patent breast cancer studies and all these different things, these big pharmaceutical companies, is because there was a patent that was created for bacteria that ate oil during the oil slicks. When the oil broke or the pipes exploded, then they created bacteria that would eat the oil, and so that's how the genome and all these viruses and all these things get patented because of that. Because it's a living thing. It's an invention of sorts. And if you watch that episode, once you get past the first one, the second video is really interesting because they had these people who work on a cure for breast cancer, and they were finding like really good, serious solution. And then they got sued. They got shut down because a certain company owned the patent to that sequence of genes, and caused them to shut it down. And it's all about this, man. It's all about la plata, la money, el dinero, el gringo bucks, and that made me really sad because basically what they were saying is we have the cure for your breast cancer, but we're not going to use it because we want you to keep buying the medicines and stuff that you need to cure. It's really, I guess it's not profitable to save people. And I just hope, and I'm hoping, and I'm praying that these vaccines, if you're going to take them, that they work for you. I really, really, in the bottom of my heart, I know a lot of people who are really afraid and very scared, very frustrated, and very conflicted about the vaccines, about taking them. I'm not here to say neither take them or not take them. That's going to have to be your choice. That's going to have to be your family decisions. That's going to have to be something that you have to really make a decision for. At this point, I personally don't feel like taking it because I don't know there's enough clinical research on it. And I'm just kind of watching how my friends and family who have taken it, how they're responding, how their bodies are going. Is that fair, unfair? That's just my choice. As a human being, I have free will to decide for myself what's best for me. And that's what I'm going to do. Will I take it? I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that, and I can't really say because part of me knows that there's a virus out there, but part of me knows that my body also is designed to create and protect me if I do the right things. Also, if I create, the environment that needs to be to house myself. Now, I have had vaccines before. I've had pneumonia vaccines and stuff, but these vaccines and all these other vaccines have had a long clinical trial where they have been proven to work, and their fail rate is completely lower than expected. Every human being is going to react differently to anything that is ingested into their body or introduced into your system. And there's no guarantee of anything is going to work or not work for you. And I just pray and I ask for love, and that the highest purpose be served, that these vaccines, that these scientists and these doctors just do their due diligence on this work, because this work is very vital, very important. And then the other factor is the mental factor. The mental factor of how people have been mentally compromised for being locked down, being scared, being fearful, being afraid to step out their door, being afraid to even touch someone, being afraid. There's a mental component that we're not looking at. I talked about this in the beginning, and I got ridiculed and laughed at. And now it's rearing its head, because there are a lot of people who, are actually committing suicide. They would rather die than they die from the virus. I'm not making this up. This is real stuff. And so it's really scary that our minds are very fragile, that we can actually get into that place. Little kids are afraid, moms are afraid, dads are afraid. But little kids are really afraid right now some kids don't even want to go to school. They're afraid to go to school. And I don't blame them, because everything that we've been pumped and shared and just doesn't make it feel safe. It doesn't make you want to go to school. Now, humanity is in a place of adaptation, evolution. We're in a moment of evolution. We're evolving. We're actually changing how we live and how we interact and how we communicate and how we respond and how we are able to do things differently. It's almost like we're on these little spaceships and we're going, who knows where we're going, and we have to, this is the only way we communicate is through the phones, through the texts, or the people who are around us. I'll be honest with you, I have not really seen a whole lot of anybody. It's not because I don't want to. It's just because the routine that I was used to doing is no longer the routine anymore. It's changed. It's become different. And I don't know if we'll ever go back to that like we used to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do the things we used to do. There's a lot. Like today, I was reading a lot of posts that some people who make jewelry and stuff for like these festivals and stuff, and they have they have so much inventory, they don't even know what to do with it. Like they don't know how to move their stuff. But I think now we're in what's going to be more a creative type of situation, where we are going to have to become a little more creative in how we move things and how we operate, especially those of you who are in business, like myself. How am I going to move and how am I going to operate compared to the old system that I used to be part of, that you used to be part of, how we used to navigate, because it's different now. It's different. And how long will it be different? We don't know. But at some point in humanity, some point in time, some point we will have to reach a peak where we can no longer live in fear. We can no longer be in that hiding of things, hiding of sorts. We will have to come out of our caves, and we're going to have to come out and actually live, because the mental state of everything is going to be affected. It will be affected. It has been affected. It is affected. For a lot of you don't know that I wasn't able to reopen my restaurant just because of the fact that, number one, just the situations, and my brother had to close one because the situations with the protests. And so we have to adapt. He only is down. I think he's down to one restaurant now. The other one's open part-time. But things are different, and I have other friends who are out of business, and there are other people I know who are doing great business. They found a niche. They found a way to move and navigate in this new world, in this new design, this new whatever you want to call it. And in the human observation, you probably notice there's probably like tons of Amazon trucks now. Everywhere you look, there's an Amazon truck. Everywhere you look, there's a guy or a girl pulling up in their car, delivering someone food to someone's house. We're like in the stores as well. There's this whole new way of living. I went to Giant Eagle today, and I watched these people with these green containers filling up these containers. And then when I asked for some help in the store, they couldn't help me because they didn't know, because their job was just to fill these containers for people who were going to stop by, or either going to deliver to them, or they were going to have it dropped off at their house. So it's like, I don't know if you guys remember, several years ago, Kroger's created, I don't know if it was called Peapod or something, but there was a grocery delivery system that was created to deliver groceries to people's homes. And it lasted for a little bit, but everybody laughed at it. I remember when everybody laughed about having things shipped to their house instead of going to the store and buying it. Now, there are people who like to touch and feel the things that they buy, but there was this big joke when I was in my 20s about shopping online. Like it was like, yeah, whatever, dude. No, that's never gonna happen. Whatever. That's just pipe dream, And I remember when Amazon was like just a baby company, and they almost went out of business when they first started, because they were trying to create that concept of shopping online and buying online. Now, Jeff Bezos is like one of the most richest people in the world. He's like billionaire over, many times billionaire. And it's because they helped create that system. They helped create that need. And now that need is even more in excess. We need it now more now because no one's leaving their houses. People are shopping. People are finding ways. People are watching Netflix. People are watching Amazon Prime, or you're watching something, or maybe you're not. But regardless, the way we entertain ourselves is different. Now the movie theaters have closed down. Like AMC that I grew up on, what is it, over there in Olentangy River Road, it closed down. It was a big theater because there was we're not allowed to have more than so many people in a theater. And it's just the way it is. Who would have guessed that this is how the world was going to be 20, 30 years ago? Who would have thought that we would be living like this? Who would have thought that we would have been giving up in certain inalienable rights in order to survive temporarily, to get into? Who would have thought that? No one would have thought that. I would never have thought that, let alone a pandemic, And here we are. We're in this new way of life. Some people call it the new world order. How they're just creating a new way of life, a new order of life. And some people are just like, well, this is what we have to do in order to survive, in order to make it. But we're here now. It's not like we're not here. We're here. We're here. So what do we do? How do we move around? How do we navigate this? And a lot of you probably ask the same questions I do, what's tomorrow going to be like? It's sometimes you're getting to the point where you don't want to even leave your house. Like, it's like your house has become this boat you're on, and you're just kind of everything you need is here. Your water's here, your food's here, everything, your things are delivered to you, whatever. And I work from home too. So it's like, he even makes it more, could be exhausting. But here we are, my friends. Here we are. We're on the internet 8 to 9 times more than we used to be. We navigate the net more than we do. We're on social media much more than we ever had been. Our connection to the outside world sometimes is looking out the window, stepping out our door, but the biggest connection of our lives is actually right here. How we talk to each other, how we communicate each other. This is where we're at. This is how we are navigating now. This is our world. This is part of our world. This isn't our world. This is part of our world. I don't want to make it total world because it's not. But this is what we're doing. Because if all of us felt that the social media was a detriment to us and it wasn't helping us, we wouldn't be on Facebook. We would totally wipe it off our phones. We'd totally delete it from our systems, and we wouldn't be here. Okay? And now the social constructs on social media are different too, different at play. Because when you used to be able to talk to people in person about a topic, and you would get angry or frustrated with something you heard, but then you had the opportunity to actually hear somebody explain why they feel a certain way. Now it's like people just read the headlines on your posts. Like if you post something, all they do is read the headlines and they think they know the story because they hear so much crap and everything rolls through their head. And then they think they know what your posting's about. But yet they didn't bother to read the article or anything or play the video that you sent them. Because it's attention span. Attention span is very, very, very small on social media. Very little. Like your attention span is very, very little now. You don't want to be on a video for 30, 20 minutes. You want to be in a video. You want your information digested and disseminated within the next minute to 60 seconds, 60 seconds to 2 minutes tops. That's where we're at now. People want answers in this short snippet versus this long snippet. And this has been a trend that's been happening for a long time. This isn't something that is this new idea. Everybody, and sometimes I'm this way, get to the point. Get to the point, man. Get to your point. Quit wasting my time because I have to navigate the net. I have to see how many little hearts I got down the way, because that's the monk. That's the little mouse, the cheese. Who moved my cheese? Our cheese has been moved around. Our little cheese, that we used to go after is completely different now. Now we want to get to the cheese quicker. We want to get to the place with the answers. We see things on social media, and sometimes we make decisions very quickly, very brass, and very, very fast without the proper knowledge. And I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of this too. So, I'm not going to be here going, that I don't do that. I've done that. I've watched a video, watched part of it, and made my decision very quickly. And plus, there's more angles to everything. There's more depth to what's happening in any situation that we watch, in any situation that plays out, anything that's recorded, anything that can be manipulated, changed, and redirected in a certain way. And I think you guys agree with me on that. I'm looking here at Danny. She says, we are seeing just how many people are conditioned to being spoon-fed their information. And yes, I believe that. That's just true. We are being spoon-fed. The point is, we're being spoon-fed. So how do we disseminate? How do we know what's real from fiction? And I'm not saying that it's fiction. It's just how they interpret what they want us to see. There was a case there's many cases actually, but the most notable case was one where there was these guys with the MAG hats down at the Capitol, where there was a Native American man playing his drum, and then the kid came over there and was like chanting, and the news reported that they were mocking this guy. Well, supposedly everybody got irate and pissed off at this kid, and it turns out that he wasn't mocking him. It was the way it was reported versus, and I don't know how it turned out. I'd have to do more research on it, but the point was that it got spun. The spin doctors changed it. It got spun around. There was a time when reporting was there was no bias. They just did reporting. Now it's like the reporters have actually become part of the reporting themselves. They've actually become part of the story, which you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be, a non-biased, observer about it. If you're going to be an editorial editor, that's one thing. You give your editorial. But I think news has changed where it's almost like reality TV. Well, it is real. I mean, but it's become like entertainment. It's become like, what's next? Oh, what's going to happen next? It's like, gee, this is what happened. And as we watch the news and as things develop, we start to see that things change. This is something that I've noticed, that the news, when it's reported at first glance, everybody goes, is just, you know. And then little by little, a week or two passes, and then there's retractions, and then they go back and they go, oh, well, no, it wasn't really like that. And it wasn't really, but by that time, it doesn't really matter, because you've already, popped your physical emotion, spirit into what you saw. And now that became real to you. It becomes real because you start to own it. You start to embed it into your heart, into your spirit, into your soul. And so this is how it was, and this is where it is, and this is why I feel the way I do. And then when new information comes, you have the opportunity to ingest it and create it and take it in, or ignore it and totally block it out. No, that's not how it was. This is how it was. It's very interesting the times that we're living in, that we're so inundated with information and inundated with so much media and so much. Everywhere you go, everybody has a different angle, a different perspective, a different perception of what they've reported. The gist of it is something happened, but it's the feeds, it's the information, how it's processed and fed to you, and what is like Danny said, spoon fed to you. And it's very hard sometimes to break away from those feelings and emotions. But, we do the best we can. So here we are. And, tomorrow is another day. And hopefully tomorrow gets better. No matter who's in office, we still have to live. We still have to move forward. Yeah, so our guy didn't get in. Or our guy got in. We still have to move forward. We cannot just stop because we're angry or frustrated because this. No, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Because it's so easy to get sucked into that energy, that vortex, that confusion. And so right now, I think humanity is trying to figure out, what can we do to keep humanity sane? How do we keep each other sane? How do we keep each other in the loving and unconditional energy? Because right now, we're being tested. Right now, we're being put in situations that are uncomfortable. But yet we find the solace, we find that peace. And when we find it, it's real. It's really good. And then we have to go back to our worlds. And sometimes the world that we've created is not the best world that we want to live in, but here we are. We just got to do our best. So the only thing I can tell you is that person, myself, you, all of us are trying to do the best we can with the information, the tools we have, and with, working through the programming that's in our heads, working through all the memories in our heads. And now we create new memories and new experiences, and we push them forward into, the next moment. And we try to understand what's happening, what's going on. So I just encourage you to do your best. Love the people around you. Know that you're loved. Know that you're cared. Love is one of those things that will always, true spiritual light love will always get us through the day. And I know it's not easy, guys. I know it's not easy to just say, hey, just be love, But if you are the example, if you are the best version of your love, then it's enough just for you. And then the people who are around you will love you back. And right now it's difficult because we love so many different ways. And now we have to find new ways to love and appreciate those people. Infinite love and gratitude. Giving infinite love and the gratitude. Giving thanks for the small things that we have. Giving thanks to that we are breathing, that we are alive, that we are actually on this planet, that we are actually able to wake up the next day and feel the beauty, feel the love. That's important to me, that I'm granted the next day. Because nothing is guaranteed in this life. Nothing is guaranteed at all. The only thing that's guaranteed is when you do have it in front of you, how are you going to embrace it? How are you going to embrace it? You know, look at the people closest to you. Look at your kids. Look at those little miracles, those miracles of life. Those are miracles, man. If you have children, your child's a miracle. And you're talking about millions and millions of sperm and eggs and all of the work and all the energy that it takes to create life. You know, all that energy to create life. And out of those millions and millions and millions of possibilities, you have this child, you have these children, you're here because of that miracle, because of that. And, you know, I'm not here to judge you, to say that you don't appreciate it, but think about yourself, that you are a miracle. That the millions and millions of chances for you to be who you are and for you to be where you're at is phenomenal in itself. The gratitude in that is amazing. And your life could suck balls, I don't care, or whatever you want to call it. But the miracle is that you still are here and you still have the opportunity to you know, evolve and be this amazing thing. You know, and I know we forget that because we get so caught up in the stories that are put in our heads, you know, and all the things that are inside of us and are programmed in us, and the traumas and all the things that, you know, mold us and change us, and the things that affect us. But when you really think about, when I tell you guys in the beginning of this show, I light this candle to the ancestors, giving thanks to them, honoring them for all the hard work that they had to do to get me and my siblings in this moment in time. And really think about that when I say that, because, you know, one decision can change everything. You wouldn't know because you wouldn't be here, but one decision can alter the fabric of reality, the fabric of whatever it is. Every child that is born, every person, myself, everybody who's born has the potential to change this world and make this world a place that is amazing. It doesn't all have to be dark and bad and war and ugly. No, we have great opportunity to make this a very amazing place. Sometimes we choose not to do it, and sometimes we have to go into the darkness in order to come into the light and navigate out. But that's the crux of the human, you know, human adventure, the human part of us. You know, I think about sometimes my mom, my dad, and all the hard work, and my grandmas, my grandpas, my great-grandpas, and all those people, what they were probably doing when what I was doing. You know, I think about that. I'm like, I wonder what they were doing. I wonder what they had, you know. And then, you know, in 100 years, most of us, no one will remember us. The only thing that will be left behind are stories that our kids share about, and then the great-grandkids share. And the cool thing about our generation is that we have YouTube and all these different platforms that things get recorded on. And there's going to be millions and billions of information. But when someone does a search for you and they type in and you did just enough, or you recorded just something, there's a historical record of you. There's a historical record of what you were like, what you were doing in a piece of time, and how you were experiencing the world in that moment, at that time. And you're recorded just like a history book. You know, some of you here, you know, Danny, for example, she records her stuff. That's forever. It's there. Her ancestors, when they look her up, they'll find her. When they look me up, they'll find it. And they'll look and they'll go, wow, now I understand why I'm like that guy. That's my great-great-great-grandpa Iggy. I'm like him. I understand why I get it now, you know, why I'm the way I am, because he was like that. And, you know, I wish I had more information about the people who came before me. You know, 100 years ago, ancestor from 100 years ago. You know, I did a DNA thing because I wanted to see, how my lineage worked. And it was really interesting. And I've shared that with some of you online. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot. I mean, you're not talking about 5, 10, 7 deep. My genes go all the way to Africa, all the way to the Andes Mountains, to Wales, to Greece, to Russia, to Mexico, Native American lands in Central America. All these people were part of me. I'm part of them. And their energy courses through me, and it moves through me. And I have pieces and parts of their genetic code in me, and stories that are embedded in me, in this mind that it fascinates me. It really fascinates me when when I think about those things. How we came to be who we are today. How I am today. People are going to look and say, hey, my great-great-great-grandpa Iggy wore a panda hat, and he danced in a panda suit. And he did this. He worked in a restaurant. He owned a restaurant. He pushed an ice cream cart when he was a kid. He pushed the mow lawn. He had a radio show. He did all kinds of things. And then one day we come to that place in time where we say, and we're tired and our bodies are weak, but our mind is strong, and we're ready to depart and leave this physical body. That will happen one day to all of us. This is just how it is. You either be very happy, very sad, you mixed emotions. But I hope that you never say, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that. I wish I would have hugged one more person. I wish I would have told them I love them. Don't wait to those days. Tell them now. Tell those people now. They're probably going to think you're weird. Doesn't matter. They're probably going to think, what's wrong with you? It's because when we're laying in our deathbed, when we're actually there one day, and we hope that we're laying in our bed, because sometimes accidents happen. And I hope that you are able to say, I lived my life to the fullest that I could possibly think that I could live it. I know it's never going to be enough. We're never going to totally get it completely, everything that we wanted. But I hope that you all feel that love one day when you look into the people that you love's eyes and they say to you, we love you. And then, and we take our last breath and we say, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. It's good to be here. Because I guarantee you that's going to be the last thing I say one day. It's good to be here. When I'm an old man, 9 years old, plus, that's my goal. I'm going to say, it's good to be here. And then we'll become a memory. Then we become a memory to the people who loved us. We become a story. We become the legend. We become these cool things, We become this more than real person sometimes. So, yeah. Life is good. That's why the Native Americans used to say it's a good day to die. It just means that I've lived every day to the best of my ability. And if it's my day, I'm grateful for what I've been given. It sounds kind of morbid, but it's true. It's a good day. So I hope that you heard some part of my message today. Why it's good to be here, and why having an attitude of gratitude, like they say, is important. Because it's so easy to get down in in the dumps. But it's just as easy to get out of there too. Yeah. I'm just having memories flash through my head right now. If you're wondering why I'm just pausing for a second. Because it becomes real. It becomes real when you know that you're mortal, and your mortality is. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's beautiful. We've all lived some amazing things. We've all experienced some amazing things. Some of us have experienced some really shitty shit too, you know. So have I. But a lot of all these things formed us, molded us, made us who we are today. And those experiences, we just move into this new direction. We're becoming these new humans. So Irisiqui in Quechua means gratitude. So a lot of you see that I post that Irisiqui. So go out there and just be the best version of yourself. Do the best you can. Honor yourself, love yourself. Try to love those and understand those around you. Sometimes it's not easy. But they're on a journey too. And sometimes you have to be the example. You have to lead. And they have to watch you fall, watch you grow, watch you move forward so they can fall, grow, and move forward too. So with that, guys, I just want to say thanks for being here with me tonight. I really appreciate all of you. And I hope to see you all soon at a drum circle or a sweat lodge. You know, just enjoy the moment, be in the now. Because if you're in the now, we've won, right? Flip it around. So let's keep winning. Let's keep moving forward. Let's keep teaching. Let's keep learning. Let's keep loving. Let's keep sharing. Let's do all the things. Wake up, get up, do your thing. I love you guys dearly. When I say that, and I truly mean that when I say that I love you guys dearly. Because a lot of you I know personally, a lot of you guys I've never met. But you all bring something to my heart, bring something to my life. And it's important to me. So with that, I want to say, Irisiqui, Matakuyasin, Namaste, Ho'oponopono. It's good to be here. All right? Aho, ahu, and we'll see you soon. Peace and love. Bye, guys. Be well. I will see you next time. I'll see you next month on Iggy Garcia Live. We'll talk to you soon. And let's drum, and it's good to be here.